Okay, this lesson is going to be very important, and it's the first of 5 lessons that are all part of how we learn the major scale. There's many approaches to learning the major scale. There's a music theory approach, intervals. It can be to a beginner, it can be very daunting, like it's too much information. I have been playing guitar for 15 years, and I didn't learn music theory until maybe 5 years ago, I think, about like that. I found this approach to be the most helpful for me, and I learned it from a fantastic guitar teacher, Neal Grandstaff, at Oregon State University. He's a music professor at the university. I'll put a link below to his website. He's a really good teacher and a killer guitarist. His approach to learning the fretboard really inspired me, and this is sort of my interpretation of how to help beginners and new learners how to approach the fretboard in a way that makes more sense, both in the beginning but later on as well. So with that, let's begin the lesson. This is the lesson on the major scale. So in the last lesson, we learned a few notes on the fretboard. We learned F, G, A, and so on. We learned that if we put our fingers in the 4-finger position on the fretboard, for example, G, we can run through what is called a chromatic scale. And we can do that anywhere on the fretboard, and it's something. When we learn the major scale, really, it's the same principle. We're just going to a certain position and we're playing a certain shape. So today, the shape that we will be learning is often called the first shape, or the first position. You might hear that from other channels. It's the same concept. The only difference is that, for example, G. In the last lesson, we learned that we put our index finger on the 3rd fret, and then each finger after it, and that is our scale. Today, we're going to make a small change. We're going to move our fingers up or back 1 fret here. So instead of our index finger being on the G, our middle finger will be on the G. Same concept. We're just moving our fingers a little bit. This is important to get used to because all the other shapes require you to think or move your fingers just a little bit, your position just a little bit. So today, the major scale shape will be made up of the same concept, but just different notes. So we're going to remove some notes from what we have already learned. We've already learned the chromatic scale. Okay, if we take out some notes, we have the major scale. And at this point, it's not important to understand which notes they are and why, but this is more of a mechanical exercise. You have to get used to this fingering, this pattern, this shape. It should be in your memory as something natural, like breathing. You don't think about it, you just know that this is the shape you play. This here is G major, you know that. So this exercise is not theory based, it's mechanic based. So let's put our fingers in position to learn the G major scale. This will be your index finger your middle finger on the third fret. And I'll put it on the screen now. This is the major scale. you've probably heard that before, maybe in grade school. Do, re, mi, la. This is that scale. This is the most important scale in music. You won't understand now, at least I didn't in the beginning, but later you will understand that this scale unlocks everything in what we are familiar with and what we call music. From heavy metal to funk to even classical music, every style of music is in some way related to this scale, but that's for another lesson. All right, so let's run through now with our fingers this new shape that we've learned. So middle finger, 3rd fret, the G, pinky finger, 5th fret, index finger, next string, middle finger, pinky again, index finger on the next string, ring finger, next string, pinky finger, next string, same, index, ring, pinky, then our middle, pinky, index, and our middle finger again. So this at first it will be kind of weird because you're skipping strings, but just keep doing it until you can. When you get tired or bored, stop, do something else, come back, do it again. It shouldn't take you too long, maybe, I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour, 20 minutes, who knows. But just so you can go at a decent pace. You don't have to be able to, you don't have to do really, really fast. Just at a comfortable, just like that. And once you've done that ascending, do the same as we've done in all other exercises, descending. Okay? So just keep doing that. Once you feel comfortable, move it around. We've already learned some of the important notes, right? F, A, C, B, E, D. So you can, if you want to, move up, or just randomly skip, go to D for no reason and do the same thing. And just keep doing that. Now that you're comfortable running through the scale, forward and reverse, ascending, descending, you feel comfortable, you can go at a good pace, spend as much time, if not more time, learning the root notes, which shouldn't be too hard. We learned, for example, in the last lesson that the lowest string and the highest string are the same note. So when we play a G major scale, we know that there are 2 G notes in this scale. There's another one hidden within this scale, and we should also add this to our memory bank of root notes, and that is going to be the D string, 5th fret. So in this shape that we've just learned, there are 3 root notes, 3 of the same note, and they are, as we already know, 2 lowest strings, but also the D string. So get a feel for those notes. Kind of think of those notes as your beginning and ending position. So okay, that's also a D. That's also a D, okay? You can kind of feel naturally the scale belongs there. It should start and end there. So to learn the root, for this shape, it's quite simply just the lowest string on the root note, the D string, and the high E. And that's true for anywhere else on the fretboard, no matter where you play. If I play a D, there's always going to be 3 D root notes. So go through and memorize, after you're comfortable doing the scale, go through and memorize those 3 root notes and understand that those are the root of the scale you are playing. So we call this a G major. It's got 3 G's. They're important. They are the foundation notes. C is the same.